All right, what is up, y'all, and welcome back to the Grind Time Shop for the Together We Print podcast. Today, we got Season 5, Episode 7. I haven't been briefing you on what episode it was, and I feel like you've been...
7.
Well, today, either way, it's an exciting one. We've been lining up jobs and knocking them down all week. Plus, we got a very special guest, Mr. Stephen Honig, in the studio to discuss things going on with Calford, Greenhouse Lounge, Spore, and a bunch of other cool stuff. So why don't y'all kick back and relax. The Together We Print podcast starts right now. All right, folks, and welcome back to the Grind Time Shop. It has been an incredibly busy last couple of weeks. It's a lot of nights spent knocking out 2 to 3 jobs a night.
Well, we've had to come in and have an extra print day.
Yeah, we added in the extra print day on the Tuesday. We're usually not in here on Tuesday nights, but we've kind of had to adjust the schedule to accommodate getting everything out because it seems like everybody's just needed something all at one time, and that's kind of been the theme since the beginning of February, and it's just been absolute insanity. But we've been getting a lot of stuff done. Even just this morning, we were knocking out a ton of stuff right up until we started the podcast.
Yeah. Little wild.
Yeah. So Melody Trucks Band, Melody Trucks and Valor Trucks for their evenings at Blue Jay Sessions. We just had to knock out some more bags and add some Vitacan sponsorship to some of the T-shirt sleeves. So that was something cool that we were able to knock out. We've been working on everything for Allegiance Roof Systems. Just knocked out a killer order for Calford. You might have seen that online. And like I said, we'll be talking to Stephen Honig a little bit about that and everything with Calford today. But also trying to get all this grind time stuff together, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I feel like we really have to start, okay? We had Cody out last week, okay? So Cody was back Friday last week to work on tightening up some designs for, the 2022 event that we've now officially announced, and we're getting to it. We're going to talk about it in just a minute. I know we teased for a long time, but Cody was out here helping us out with tents and banners.
Yep.
We're getting a whole new tent set up for all of the events this year, and brand new banners. What you laughing about?
Just the way you said it so fast, it didn't sound like tents.
What did it sound like?
It sounded like you said tits and banners.
Tits and banners, got it. Equally as good. But
that was funny.
Yeah, Cody was not out here helping us work on our tits and banners. It was tents and banners for the upcoming events this summer. I get it. I'm not gonna hate you for it.
Yeah.
So either way, he was out here. We had also helping us work on our biggest merchandise drop yet. Okay, so we've been a little silent on the home front as far as dropping new merch in the Grind Time line, and that's really just come down to us being so incredibly busy since the last drop, which was for Furnace Fest last year. But rest assured, there have been many designs that we have been working on. We've been ordering a ton of new garments from a lot of different companies, bringing in some new stuff that we haven't printed on before, and then some returning favorites to kind of get this 2022 line ready for everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. I mean, we got how many designs we got new that are new?
Close to 10 new designs. Close to 10 new designs total, considering that some of them are going to be on T-shirts, some of them will be hat designs, but we also have some new hat designs in the works as well.
I mean, yeah, when we go to Furnace Fest, dude, it's going to be like the spread.
Yeah.
It's going to be wild.
Yeah. I'm planning on making that tent look like the most insane merch tent at that entire place.
That's what I was saying, bro. Let's get some LED lights around the inside of it, bro. Let's throw a little
hire a
strobe light
DJ
under there, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean? We'll just you go walking past there, you gotta stop. It's a party under that tent.
10 by 10 party.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Little solo cups hanging out.
I don't know. No, I think it's gonna be a good time. Like I said, and it will be. It will be the biggest merchandise drop that we've ever made for the Grind Time Shop and the Grind Time line.
Which is funny because last year was the biggest merch drop.
Yeah. We've been trying to step it up every year, y'all. So rest assured, there's some stuff that kind of coincides.
Yeah.
with Furnace Fest and Alabama. But then there's some other stuff that we'll be dropping actually in the summer at the summer event. So, we're talking about a whole bunch. It's been announced now. We can finally talk about it. So, Alan, can I get a drum roll, please? We have finally announced the Duval Heavy Hitters Volume 1 compilation album that will be released August 20th at 1904 Music Hall, and we will be taking thousands of copies out to Furnace Fest 2022 to give away to every single person that'll take them out of our hands, all right? Woo! Okay, so very exciting. We've been teasing it. So last year we kind of had this idea as we were leaving Furnace Fest, right? And I mean, it was one of those things where we were at Furnace Fest the entire weekend, and it really does feel like this multi-day Warped Tour. Am I right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean,
it's awesome.
It's got less stages,
but
you
for
know
our
what I'm
age
saying?
Group.
yeah, but for our age group, it's got less stages. It's not quite as spread out as like a Warped Tour would be, where I got to walk from like Florida to Egypt to go see one band and then walk back to
where our booth is. You can almost hear all three stages.
You really could, yeah. We were in a perfect spot. But we had that, that talk and that discussion about what could we do next year to kind of make this feel a little more like that, like grab that feeling. And one of the things that I immediately gravitated towards, because it was one of my favorite things about going to Warped Tour as a kid, was going to like the Epitaph booth,
all the new music
or all the different record label booths, and they would all slide you a compilation CD with like 5 or 10 bands from the new bands from the label and a couple songs from each. And like I even have one. I have an Epitaph Records Scream Cleaning one that we kind of referenced that I've never opened as a thought pattern here, because we were like, well, you know what? It'd be great to be able to bring some of our Jacksonville homies and some of the Duval, killer acts that are here and be able to expose them to not only the people of Alabama, but I mean, Furnace Fest last year, there were people from every state and multiple countries. Like, this is a festival that a lot of people come to the United States for, and last year they had over 30,000. So we're very excited to get back out there for what looks like it's going to be an even bigger fest this year, which is absolutely insane. I wasn't even thinking there was much of a way to top last year, and then really honestly the lineup that's been dropped in the last week kind of has me thinking that this year definitely might do it, bro.
Last year we were talking about, and we were like, dude, there's going to be some. We immediately were thinking like, oh, well, who could be on next year? Who is it that's broke up that we know? Oh, Blindside, sick.
Oh yeah, Blindside, and that was huge. That was a huge announcement, bro.
God. Huge and then we were talking like, who else could be on it? It's not broken up. Thrice, bro. Thrice headlining one of the days. I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be absolutely unreal, and it's gonna be cool to just be able to go out and do something that we already enjoy doing so much again at a place where we would go to Furnace Fest even if we weren't vending, right? I mean, it's like,
are you kidding
it's like
me?
the right
absolutely.
festival for us to go to. That's our jam. So to be out there and to be able to further the name of Grind Time, be able to expose everyone to these Jacksonville artists that we think are absolutely incredible, and it's going to be a really killer event, man. I am looking forward to it so much.
It's going to smash, dude. Not even just for Grind Time, but just for a whole weekend in general. Like, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Oh, I remember now.
Okay.
For the Fallen Dreams. That's who I was thinking of earlier when we were talking about that band. Sorry, guys, not to get off topic, but I'm like squirrel, sometimes.
Got to say it when you think of it.
That's the band I was thinking of earlier, For the Fallen Dreams.
Got it. Yeah. Well, it's going to be incredible. There's still a few bands to be announced. Okay, I know they got a headliner for Saturday still kind of covered up.
Yeah, they have like a couple.
Waiting to see what's going to happen.
It's not a headliner though. I think it's a.
There's a headliner that's a question mark too, bro.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So they got some more big announcements coming, so we'll be looking forward to that. Big thanks. We got to give a major thanks to the sponsors for the compilation and the Furnace Fest, the podcast, everything that are incredible sponsors, but really the ones that are associated with helping make this compilation happen and bring this idea to life. So big thanks to Allegiance Roof Systems, Leaderboard Arcade, 1904 Music Hall, Underbelly, and Archetype for all helping us kind of bring this compilation to life. So very, very excited to get to working on that. We're not going to announce any of the bands on it yet, all right? So I can tell y'all that most of them are already confirmed and on there. It's just one of those things where we're going to wait and we're going to roll those out in a very cool way via Instagram and Facebook in the coming months. So very excited about that. And go ahead and save the date.
Oh, yeah.
August 20th, 1904 Music Hall. Smash that date down on your calendar. Make sure you don't got anything else going on. We'll have a ton of bands from the compilation playing the actual release party. We'll be giving away a copy of the compilation to everybody who comes through the door. We'll have the Grind Time booth set up with a whole bunch of the new fall drop. So it's really going to be your first chance to get some 2022 brand new designed Grind Time stuff because we've just been so swamped with everything else.
Yep.
We don't even have the time to work on that stuff too much right now.
Yeah.
So a bunch of other stuff coming news-wise for it. We'll have some of the sponsors out there. I think Leaderboard Arcade's going to be bringing out some arcade games.
Yep.
We're going to have some other sponsors just for the actual hometown event. So be on the lookout as all the details for that kind of finalize. And if you want some free tickets and you listen to the Together We Print podcast, hit us up. Hit us up, grindtimeclothingconcepts@gmail.com. If you're actually watching this and you want to come to the event, hit us up. We're giving away some free tickets, and you might be lucky enough to get some of them. So really cool and really exciting that we've been, getting all that. And then we can finally talk about it with y'all because it's been one of those things that we've just kind of had to keep to ourselves for so long.
Yeah.
And it feels really good to be able to talk about it. So with that, I think it kind of catches us up on everything that's been going on in the shop recently. Mm-hmm. So now, a word from our sponsors.
Today's podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Allegiance Roof Systems. For all your roofing needs, commercial or residential. They're one of the top roofing companies in Northeast Florida, and they also give free estimates. Call them at 904-449-2416 and get yourself a new roof that will last a long time. Once again, that's 904-449-2416, and let them know that the Grind Time Boys sent you. Allegiance Roof Systems.
All right, y'all. Big thanks again to Allegiance Roof Systems for always helping out and being one of our just day one best customers as well as an incredible sponsor, helping us bring together a lot of the ideas for the podcast and these events that we do. So big ups to Allegiance Roof Systems, Leaderboard, Arcade, 1904 Music Hall, Underbelly, and Archetype again. We love y'all and thank y'all very much for helping us make that happen. But that's going to bring us right on into the Artist Spotlight section of the podcast. And for those of y'all who are unaware what the Artist Spotlight is, it's just a time where we take a second to shout out people doing cool stuff. We all get caught in the monotony of scrolling through our phones every single day. We see something, we smash that double tap button, we smash that like button, we smash that share button. But who really sees it, okay? Unless you're paying for it. Daddy Zuckerberg ain't showing it to many people. All right, let's be real. So this is just a time where we say, hey, we saw your stuff. We thought it was cool. And we felt like it took a second. We felt like we needed to take a second to shout you out. So, Alan, why don't you go ahead and take it away with today's Artist Spotlight.
Well, today's Artist Spotlight is somebody that we have featured. She was like one of the very first people that we ever featured on the Artist Spotlight 2 years ago or so, like in season 1. And I felt like she needed to be recognized again in all her accomplishments and how far she's come.
Totally agree. Absolutely agree.
This is our girl Laura. She's a good friend of ours.
Laura!
She's got a screen print shop called Valley Center Print Shop.
That's right, Valley Center, folks.
And she's crushing it. This reel right here is what made me stop, and I was just like, wow, dude, Laura is doing some stuff. Look at this.
Yeah, it looks absolutely sick, dude.
It's insane.
Yeah, she's crushing it.
That looks amazing, dude. She's
crushing it.
And then there's some other stuff, dude. If you scroll down, keep going. She did some gold leaflet. Yeah. She did some gold leaflet stuff.
Oh yeah. I've seen her do all this stuff.
She's been killing it in that stuff. She loves it.
Yeah.
I love it. She's come a long way in the last couple years.
Yeah.
And she was amazing then, and she's even more amazing now.
Yeah, she's absolutely crushing it, dude.
She found a way to brand herself.
I remember when she got this sticker tape, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. So big shout out to Laura and Valley Center Print Shop. They are absolutely amazing. She's crushing it. Go give her a follow. Go like some of her stuff.
Yeah,
Share
definitely.
it. If you go on Instagram, it's instagram.com/Valley Center Print Shop. And and just like I said, just share her page, give her a like, show her some love, and just let her know that we sent you over.
All right, and that's going to go ahead and wrap up the artist spotlight, which is going to go ahead and bring us on into our guest introduction for today, folks. I don't even know really where to start here, guys. Our guest today is not only an absolute monster of a bass player and fellow founding member of S.P.E., but also the individual responsible for the lead guitar madness that fuels not only Jacksonville Swamp Rockers Calford, but also Jamtronica Legends Greenhouse Lounge. And he does this all while still managing to be the best-dressed man in the room. Please welcome Mr. Stephen Honig to the podcast, y'all.
Yeah.
What's up, my guy?
How y'all doing?
Hey, man, we're doing good. How about yourself?
Doing great.
You know what's funny
Yeah.
about like all that? Like, I was having this conversation with Schumann, my new security guard, the other day.
Uh-huh.
Remember you saw me and Schumann outside, out in the back parking
Yeah,
lot?
yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "That is Jacksonville's #1 rock star."
Oh, please.
Right there. No, listen to me. I swear to God, I was like that. If you were to put name a rock star out of Jacksonville, I'd be like Steve Honig.
Oh, goodness gracious. y'all.
Steve Honig.
You live the part,
I
man.
said-
You
I
live the
said-
part.
He goes,
Dressed for the job.
Well,
they
that's
say.
what I'm saying, dude. He goes, he looks dressed for it, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
He literally dresses for success, bro.
Yeah,
Every
man.
day.
I love it,
Funny.
dude. I love it. I was highly anticipating your outfit for the day, and you killed it. You killed it.
Yeah,
very
crushing it.
Bro, I'm into it. I wish that I had more time to get ready in the mornings, and I
I
envy
just
it a
threw
little
this thing
bit.
on real quick.
Yeah, this is not a big deal, man.
Oh,
Wow.
man. Well, dude, I'm excited to finally have you in. I feel like this has been a long time coming, obviously. We've
Yeah.
been going through a lot of the members of Spore and Greenhouse and everybody else, bringing them on and having them talk for a little while. And I like to start in the beginning of all of them with kind of the origin story, all right? So,
Yeah.
obviously, we know you're a musician. We know that you play bass in Spore. You play guitar in Greenhouse and Calford.
Yep.
But for the listeners, how did music become a thing? Was that something that started at a young age for you, or was it
Yeah.
inspired by family? Just explain to them a little bit about that.
It was both, right? So my dad's dad was a jazz pianist. And so he convinced my parents, and neither of my parents play music. So they convinced my parents that me and my brother and sister all needed to play music. So
Okay.
we started taking lessons when we were like 8. And we couldn't stand it. We had a teacher, she was like scary, and she would we'd get in trouble because we didn't practice.
And this was piano lessons.
This was piano lessons,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So that happened for a couple years, and oddly enough, me and my brother got really good at playing these
Yeah.
Russian classic standard things out of fear, right? So this
Yeah,
fear-based training. So we didn't really like it. My mom would always make us practice before school and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
summer school, that's miserable.
Yes, it was miserable. But either way, so that got us to be decent. Then we found this new teacher, Eric Brigman, who's the keyboard player for J.J. Graham Mofo.
Yep.
And he started teaching us after me and my brother pretty much had given up on the other teacher because it was driving us nuts.
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
we don't want to play anymore. Mom was like, well, I think we found someone else. He's a cool surfer guy. I'm like, okay, let's see.
Yeah,
He was.
try
He's
this
super
out.
funky dude.
Yeah.
So he comes in, he's like, all right, let's learn some, the meters, because that's not too crazy, and then we'll learn some Jack Johnson, because that's kind of simple, and then Sly and the Family Stone, and all these like funky, like all this really good feeling music.
Yeah,
And
for
it was
sure.
like really fun to play. And then we switched from piano to guitar, bass, trumpet, saxophone. Because I used to play trumpet too. My brother would play sax. And
Okay.
Then we
I
both
did
would
not
play
know that.
guitar.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that either.
Yeah. So I played trumpet in middle and high school.
Played trumpet in middle school for a small period of
Yeah,
time.
it hurts your face a lot.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, it's
I
brutal.
didn't enjoy
So
it.
it's,
I didn't enjoy it.
it's a tough one. I know. That's why John Parker Urban's like, yeah, I'm just starting to learn to play trumpet. I'm like, oh my God. That's crazy.
Have fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Can you still play it?
I still remember, I think like a C scale, maybe a couple of notes.
Yeah.
But it's not about knowing how to play it. It's if you don't play it every day, it's gonna
You
kick your
lose that
butt.
feeling.
Yeah.
because it's all in your face. These crazy face muscles that
Yeah.
are excruciating. So Eric Brigman started showing us all this really cool music, and from that point, it started really growing into this thing we wanted to do and wanted to learn. And then when I was in 10th grade, I hit my head really hard from like 10 feet up in the air. I hit the concrete,
Jesus.
and I had to stay home for like 2 months.
Oh.
Because I couldn't go to school because if someone hit me in the head with like a locker or a textbook, it could have disperse the blood clot or whatever, and I could
Yeah,
have like
yeah,
an
yeah.
aneurysm or some crazy shit like that.
Whew.
Yeah, right. So I had to
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
home. I had to stay home for 2 months, and during these 2 months, I really started playing
Yeah,
guitar
you
loud,
dug
a
into
lot of loud guitar. So because no one's around, everyone's at work, so I'm
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
upstairs with this. I remember I had Michael Glock's Ampeg Reverborocket.
Okay.
And it's like a 210 with like a bunch of tubes in it. I can't remember the specs anymore because it's not a Fender, it's not a Marshall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sound awesome.
Yeah.
And he left me a couple pedals. He left me a Rat pedal and a delay pedal.
Okay.
That's all I really needed.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I
yeah.
had that, and I had a Stratocaster, and I would just crank the shit out of this thing all day. And I like fell in love with super loud, overdriven guitar, and I was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I must have it. Like so.
Yeah,
Fuck piano.
yeah.
Fuck the piano. I got the Rat pedal and the strap,
I'm
bro.
seeing.
I'm good.
I'm very much seeing the turning point being these 2 months at home.
Yeah, and so from that point, like, I didn't even want to do school anymore. I was like, I just want to play guitar forever.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I think
for
that's
sure.
about the time we were all like, you know what?
15.
Fuck school.
Yeah,
We're gonna go
15
play
years old.
music.
Yeah, 15, 16. That's exactly what a lot of people go through that like to play music already.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
then I started forming bands because at this point we're like, well, if we have loud stuff, we could be in a band. Like, let's do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So I was in a couple bands. I can't remember all three of the. Oh God, I remember them now. Okay, so these are good band names. You ready for these?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So the first band was kind of like White Stripesy, like angsty type of stuff because we liked it. And that one was called Everything But Anchovies.
Okay.
And we didn't.
Okay.
We got the name of the band off of a pizza menu, and we just didn't give a shit. We were like, let's just call it that because
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like some special. You could get everything they had but anchovies.
Yep,
And
yep.
then we're like, all right. And then we turned that into an acronym, EBA, and then we started turning that into like a bunch of different.
Okay.
Interesting,
Got it.
you know.
Got it.
Kind of like Spore.
Weird enough. And then, all right, so we had two other bands. One was a cover band that would play like Leonard Skinner all the way to like Linkin Park.
Okay.
Like all across the board.
Okay.
And some other weird stuff. And that one was called the Corn-Fed Gang.
Okay.
And then, I told you they're awesome. They're awesome.
The Corn-Fed Gang.
Exactly.
Bro.
That was the lead singer wanted to call it that. And then we had one other band that would play some like reggae and some other stuff, and that one was called Juice Monkeys.
Got it.
Wow.
And that was JOOSE because that's what we like to drink because that's what they would sell us. When we
Oh,
were 16.
juice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
so we get a couple of tall boys of those, and it was like, well, this was like the reason we have like okay, let's call
Yeah.
it Juice Monkeys. So
Y'all
those-
were the Juice Monkeys.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
Juice
that's
Monkeys,
funny.
right? Exactly. So we played a show at Freebird. I was 17 or 16.
Okay.
And I played with both bands, Corn-Fed and Juice Monkeys. And at that point, I was playing bass in this band and guitar in that band. And I was like, that was like the beginning of this whole like, wait, I could do both.
Yeah.
I do both now. And now I do both. And so like from that point, it's kind of always been that way.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it kind of has. Spore, I dedicated so much time to bass.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
didn't really play
absolutely.
guitar for years, like
Yeah.
very much at all, because Spore bass is just crazy. It's
Yeah.
like it's a
Yeah,
monster.
it's
on
almost
its own.
guitar on
Only
its
other
own.
person
Yeah,
that can
yeah.
do it is Adam.
Barely, yeah.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
does it
Adam,
well.
Adam does it well,
He
but
does it
there's
well, but,
nobody who knows the
it's-
songs like Steve does.
No, because I
It's-
never teach him to do it.
Yeah.
Barely
And
know
they-
it myself.
And they change, that was something funny. Obviously, I was gonna get into Spore because that was something a decade ago now. This year we started Spore. We played a little over a decade. We played our first show in February of 2012.
Is that the
I
Rubble
should
Bucket
say-
show?
So
I
that
should
was
say
Rubble
there
Bucket
needs to be a
at
10-year
Jackrabbits.
Spore anniversary.
We were gonna do
Yeah,
one,
we're
weren't we?
Spore's
working on
anniversary.
we're working on something.
Yeah,
something.
we'll figure it out.
It just couldn't happen at the beginning of the year. So it may have
but
to
I'm just
be
saying this year there needs to be a
Something.
10-year
yeah.
Spore of
I agree.
Spore
There's some
anniversary.
things
Something like that.
there's some things in the works. So.
Okay.
But
I think so.
but yeah, like I said, we started Spore 10 years ago now, and it's one of those things where you were playing bass, and I've went over the story on the podcast a little bit of meeting all y'all at Blues Rock,
I've heard
and
every single
Oh
one.
my
you
God,
and
yeah.
Alex and Joe already kind of having played together, and me kind of coming in and being like, yo, let's get together and jam and write some songs, and
Something.
I've played in a bunch of bands, and I know Tim Hall and a couple of other guys
Yeah,
that
you
booked the
did know the
venues in
guys.
town, and I was like, we'll get on a show, and we did it, man, and it's so wild because you played bass in Spore obviously primarily, but we knew everybody in that band, and I knew how insane of a guitar player you were. We just happened to know people that could play guitar. but we didn't know that many people that played bass.
That's right.
Like we needed. So it was one of
That's
those
right.
Is that the
things
reason
where
you're on base?
it worked
one of
out.
them.
Yeah,
I always wanted that.
We
because you're
always
such a shredder, bro.
we had
So-
talked.
Well,
We
it
had
needs
talked
it,
at
right?
one
Yeah.
point in time about we had looked at as the band made member changes over the years. We had the discussion about possibly moving Steve from bass to guitar, but the issue was finding a bass player that me and Steve sync up in a way, drum and bass wise,
easy.
that you can't find. Even just at the Dunedin show,
Right,
I don't remember. You'll have to remember, but there was a time in the middle of our set we just played Spring Beer Jam
Yeah, it was
in
super
Dunedin,
fun.
Florida. Great time.
Thanks, Mike.
There was a part in the set where you hit, like, the songs are very long, y'all, and they're improvised. So, like, there's a skeleton to the song, but one night it might be 12 minutes, and the next night it could be 20 minutes. The same song.
We have
You
that.
know, like, they vary because depending upon how we're feeling it and how the jam's going, we might just let that thing roll. So, you rolled into some part where you kind of did, like, a hold, and then you dropped on a one or a downbeat.
Uh-huh.
And you kind of turned back around and looked at me like, oops, I didn't really mean to do that. And I was like, oh, it's fine. And literally got to the next verse and went, and waited for you and dropped on the one again.
Yeah,
and
we
then you
did.
turned around and looked at me and went,
Oh, let's do it.
And
Let's
you
do
were
it.
like,
Let's do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I do remember that moment because it's like one of those happy mistakes when you have these 10-minute jams.
yeah.
10-minute jams that are part of a 20-minute song. So it's like, so when you have these sections, you can kind of like fart essentially.
Yeah, 100%.
And someone's like, oh wait, no, I'll copy you, and then
Yeah.
we'll send it back and forth, and then we ended up hitting that for like another 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Just
we
that
did.
Off the one, boom.
Yeah.
Off the one, boom. It's like it totally
Yeah.
works.
Y'all probably
Yeah.
loved it.
Oh,
It
we
was
eat
good,
up.
dude. We were
It was
both
so
cheesing
fun.
out, bro.
It was so fun, and we
And
never
you
do
know,
that.
You know what's
That never
funny is I
happened.
guarantee
Yeah.
you, y'all will do it that same way like that.
If we think about it, it very well
I don't
may
even remember
happen
which song
again.
it was,
Neither
though.
do I.
They're
But I
all
just
blurred.
remember it being that moment where, and like I said, I think that's primarily the reason that Spore has always, we gotta have you on bass and me on drums, and
It has to be that way.
and it kind of has to have that original, the original lineup there for it to be Spore, because we're really the only ones who know the skeletons to those
know.
songs. So it's kind of a
The core four has to be there.
That's what the core
it's an
for.
interesting thing, man. But yeah, so like I said, Spore it started 10 years ago, and we toured heavily, man. You doing the bass thing, and then obviously, it was years ago. In fact, I remember playing drums with y'all when you and Nat were first getting together, Calford
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Calford Town band, now Calford, and I remember rehearsing in the house I was living in over in Middleburg. Y'all came over and we had some like practices in my house when I played drums with you and Nat.
Oh my God! How long ago was that? Was that
Long before
which
you.
house was that?
That was my old house in Middleburg. It was my ex-wife.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow, that was
yeah.
forever ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Oh my God.
And that was when Calford
How long
was.
have we been doing this?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Long.
And but I remember having those rehearsals, and I remember being like, man, this music is so great. But at the time, I had the Hounds going on,
Yep.
and we still had Spore operating a little bit.
Yep.
And it was kind of one of those things where I just didn't have the time to be able to commit to it, mainly because of the Hounds in that
Yeah, you
in
were
that
doing a bunch of
moment.
that.
The Hounds was so busy, but like I said, y'all ended up pushing forward with that thing and finding some members, and now
Yeah, we have to do
fast
that.
forward to now. Now
Yeah.
it's Calford. Now y'all are absolutely crushing shit.
Yes, we are.
You're winning best original band in Jacksonville.
We did
in
win that.
magazines and shit.
Yeah.
And I said it to Nat last time I saw him, dude. I booked y'all at Archetype like 2-3 years ago.
Oh
maybe.
yeah.
And I made a post. It comes up on my Facebook, like my memories every once in a while, and it says, "Hey, Jacksonville, mark my words, Calford Town band, most slept on band in town."
Yeah, you did say that. I remember that.
Said it. You know what I'm saying? And now y'all crushing it, bro. And
Yeah.
nothing makes me happier because obviously Spore is just kind of playing when we can play.
Yeah,
like
Spore
we're
was
all
just-
so busy and
there's
we're all
7 of us
spread
now.
out.
God.
And- but
yeah.
dude,
That's 7
let me
pieces.
tell you what, like.
But you know what, dude? I saw it as a 4-piece, and I've seen it as a 7-piece.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what, 4-piece is good. Don't get me wrong, 4-piece is solid. But there ain't nothing like that 7-piece.
It's crazy.
Bro.
It's
Dude,
mayhem.
That
It's
7-piece.
full-
Seven
I
grams.
was literally just like,
Oh yeah, I know. You can't.
7 grams of Spore.
oh
Yeah.
my
It's a quarter to your head, bro.
It's,
it's a quarter
It's
straight
all
to
in
the
your
dome.
head. It's all in your head.
It was mind blowing, dude. I was
It is.
amazed. I was just like, wow,
It'll melt.
this
Yeah,
is
man.
so freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's been
just
so much
doesn't
fun
stop.
doing that, dude.
It's this right here.
It's been so
That's
much
what
fun.
it is.
Yeah.
There's nobody else.
Yeah,
just
we
these two.
we feeding
Well,
off
everyone
of
else
each
can
other.
go crazy because
Yeah.
me and Chris are doing the same thing.
Yeah, we're
Y'all
holding
just
it.
driving it. That's
Yeah,
it.
and then everyone
Yeah.
else has this freedom. They can
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah, you guys don't really have much of a freedom. You're just kind of like, all right.
But
We're
but we
stick
know
to the
exactly
plan.
what we're doing, so
Yep.
that's the freedom. We
Yep.
don't have to think. We don't have to think.
Exactly. Yeah,
We're just in the
that's
zone.
yeah. No, I love it, dude. And we've got some cool things planned for later this year, obviously with Spore and Calford. Tons of gigs coming up,
Yep.
including I guess next gig is the day this podcast episode
Yeah,
comes
April
out.
15th.
April
At
15th,
1904.
tonight, 1904
Oh, it will
Music
be
Hall.
tonight.
Yeah, it will be
Time
tonight
travel.
when this drops on YouTube. Calford,
Calvert.
Jordan Foley in the Wheelhouse, Dean Winter in the Heat.
Yep.
It's going to be a fire show
Very
at
dynamic.
1904 Music Hall. So y'all get your asses down there and
I got
check
a
it out.
question. Where did Calford come from? Where'd the name? What's the-
Calvert is the original name of Jacksonville before it was called Jacksonville.
It is.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
we
it's
just-
Calford Chop House too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so we just wanted to kind of pay homage to, the
Jacksonville.
badass shit that comes out of Jacksonville. We sometimes
I didn't know
forget.
that. I thought
Yep.
Jacksonville just always been Jacksonville. I
Nope.
didn't.
No,
It was the
Calvert
original
before that.
name. Yeah, Calford.
Real,
Yeah.
and that makes sense with the Calvert Chop House. I
Yep.
didn't- I
Yep.
didn't-
Exactly.
That's dope.
Yeah. So now we always wanted to make it like very Jacksonville, like we're proud to be from Jacksonville.
Yeah,
like all
absolutely.
these other crazy bands are from Jacksonville, and sometimes, like yeah, people move to Nashville or move to LA or whatever, but a lot of stuff comes from here.
Oh yeah,
It's really
100%, man.
bizarre sort of I-95 and I-10 intersection.
Yep.
Like so much stuff just like comes out of here and goes places.
Dude, well, and it's
So
wild.
that's what we're gonna do.
I've talked about it a lot in the podcast and previous episodes, but it's wild to me how many people you will meet from Jacksonville when you start to go other places, right? So, like, I remember all the time when we were playing in Spore and we would go to different places and people would be like, oh, yeah, I used to live in Jacksonville. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, over off South Side. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And almost every single time Spore plays somewhere to this day, I have somebody who comes up to me and is like, hey, y'all from Jacksonville? I lived in Jacksonville for a little while. And I'm like, oh, did everybody in this room live in Jacksonville at one point in time?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
now you say we're from all over Florida.
I was going to
So it
say,
doesn't
yeah,
happen that
we
much
really
anymore.
are. Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But, yeah, I think that Jacksonville has, a tradition for bringing some especially incredible southern swamp rock bands from this area.
I mean, you got the
And, dude,
number one southern rock band of all fucking time is from here, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
They kind of invented it almost.
yeah,
dude,
I
that's
mean,
what
to
I'm
some
saying.
extent.
Like, this is Jacksonville is. I feel like Jacksonville is the mecca of southern rock. Like,
I would hope so.
I mean, you would think so when you got Leonard Skinner, who is the number one. I mean,
Yeah.
they
Arguably, yeah. I mean, they
Yeah.
they are
I don't know if
definitely.
that's even arguably. I
It's
think
not
that's
that
like
arguable.
it's a
No,
fact, bro.
no.
As far as the world goes.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely
know.
were pioneers, and it's one of those things where I think that people expect from the South for a certain percentage of country southern rock to come out of it, and you get a lot of southern rock country bands that start in the Jacksonville and the Florida, Georgia, Alabama areas. The difference is a lot of them just sound the same, man. Like, a lot of them sound
Yeah.
like
Not
the
to
last
Jacksonville.
swamp
No.
rock band or the
There's
last
something
southern rock
grittier
band.
here.
Bro,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
It's
dirty,
grit.
man. It's
We're-
that dirty
we're-
Duval.
we're
Yeah,
brought down,
exactly.
bro,
It's got some grit.
We bring it all
Mhm.
from the roots, though. Here, dude. I mean, like I said, it started here, dude, with Leonard Skinner, and we've
Yep.
all like, and
All
I feel
Brothers
like,
House is down in Riverside.
Yeah, I was
Exactly.
gonna say,
I
yeah.
feel like no matter what like southern style rock band you do, you always have this this mentality when you're writing this music that it's is it something that like I don't say like is it something Leonard Skinner would listen to, but it's like you always have that in the back of your mind. You're like, I'm
They're-
gonna write this song, but it's like Leonard Skinner. You have like this level that you have to hold up
If
to.
you-
Yeah.
if
I
you
can't,
play-
hold
If you play music in that genre, you have to have a certain respect and a certain, reverence for what they did for the
Right.
genre itself.
Yeah.
And I think
we definitely
y'all
do.
definitely do. Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We have some
yeah,
songs
it
that are-
is, yeah.
holding
Yeah.
it
And
down.
it's
We're
incredible,
proud of
man.
We're proud of our shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's very good. Like I said, y'all have been on fire, absolutely crushing it. And I got to talk more about another band that you're playing guitar in now that's absolutely
Okay.
crushing pushing it. The revival of Greenhouse Lounge, bro.
Yep.
All right, so obviously we had Jason on not long ago, and I was talking to him because,
Jay.
I met Jason
Love
for the very first time at a Purple Hatters ball, and the second Purple Hatters ball ever, and Greenhouse got rained out outside and played in the music hall, and I remember being like, this is absolutely insane. Like, this band's great. This is cool. Now, this is when they had, like, the steel drums and, like, 7-member lineup.
Yeah.
And then the band kind of morphed into more, like, the electronic drum and bass, like Jamtronica kind of thing. But obviously it was very led for years by Trax and Zach's, production skills. And then now the band has, like, revitalized songs from a decade ago, but there is no programming, bro.
No.
It's all live instrumentation,
Yes.
similar to what Spore's been doing. I always,
In a
when I
sense.
tell people about Spore to some extent, I always kind of try and say, hey, we play electronic style dance music, but there's no computers, right? So
Yeah,
it's all like
Spore's hard to
live
classify.
instrumentation,
Yeah.
right? It's a different thing for sure.
Yeah.
But Greenhouse is making that Jamtronica drum and bass, like live electronic sound. But there is no pre-programmed computer.
Nope.
There is no Ableton tracks running in the
anymore, there's
background.
not.
There's nothing being triggered. It's
Nope.
all being produced live on the fly by you, Bill, Dave, and Jason. And
Yep.
it's unreal, dude. Like, I got to
it's-
say, how was y'all just played at Spring Beer Jam as well. I heard the set went great.
It did go. It was amazing. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
super fun.
Dude, and y'all Halloween performance last year was something I heard everybody talking about for months afterwards.
Yeah. I was
So-
high off that for a while.
Dude, yeah, I bet.
Serotonin lasted a good minute.
Oh my god, adrenaline is a hell of a drug. Oh my god, it was so. I was in so much pain for the next week after that because of how much jumping up and down, and I like pull my back, like doing back bends on stage. I was doing stuff my body is not supposed to be doing on that stage.
But you know what's funny is you do
'Cause
those
I had
things.
to.
You do those things regularly now.
Well, I've been taking it a little bit easy sometimes because I did fuck my
You
back
did
up
a
pretty
hell of
quick.
a back bend at the Calvert show.
I
at
did.
Underbelly
That's
last
true.
time.
That's true. Maybe I.
I mean,
all
I
right.
literally have a
Maybe it's
picture
getting,
of you like
yeah, I have a picture too.
completely bent over, like shredding,
That's it. That's the
with
stuff.
your
I did it
zebra
wrong.
outfit on or whatever.
Oh
it was.
yeah, which was that the zebra one? Yeah, that was the zebra one.
Yeah.
With the leather pants.
Yeah, that's what it was. The
Yep.
zebra shirt and the leather pants.
That's right. And the furry vest.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's awesome,
that was
man.
it.
And the zebra headband. Yeah. Yeah, I got a zebra pick guard now too from Carmadon.
Oh,
Kevin. Yeah, I got a Cowford pick guard, a Greenhouse Lounge pick guard, and a zebra pick guard. All from Kevin Maines at Carmadon Electronics.
Well, there you go. Y'all check out Kevin Maines.
Yeah, he's got some cool shit. So Greenhouse revamped in a very COVID style, like things weren't working. It was kind of just Dave. It was up to Dave to like get the thing going because Jason Honeycutt has a million things to do.
Yeah,
let's be
100%.
honest. He if he signs up for one more goddamn thing.
Yeah.
No,
for
he
sure.
will. I'm sure he will.
Yeah,
I mean, look
he'll
at
sign
Ocean-
up for
Ocean
10
Street
more.
Taco
Yeah,
just opened,
exactly.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
You can't stop that man. So Jason's not going to fire it back up. Billy and I aren't in Greenhouse Lounge, so we absolutely have no right trying to ask Dave to fire it back up. So Dave, out of the blue, calls us. He's like, I was talking to Jay, and I think I want to start Greenhouse Lounge back up. I'm like, okay. He's like, I want you to play guitar, and I want Billy to play keys. And I just kind of go, okay, this sounds crazy. So we had a bunch of rehearsals, and we learned all the old Greenhouse songs, and we revamped it. So Billy's playing all the parts that used to be on the computer on his keyboard, and I'm playing Zach's parts on the guitar. But then we're adding solos in for both of us because there wasn't really that much soloing because the style that they were doing
Didn't call for it at the time.
Didn't call for it at the time. So, but Dave's turning this thing into a Disco Biscuits, Humphreys madhouse.
Yeah.
So we start working on all the old songs. We get those. We start playing them. Then one day, Dave brings a song that's incomplete that we call Lemurian Beings now. It was just some harmonic stuff. And we started jamming on this idea and started coming up with our own ideas. And we all kind of look at each other like, oh, we should be writing originals. We're done with the old stuff now. Let's get to this original stuff. Now we have 6 or 7 originals, and they all have a very distinct new Greenhouse Lounge feeling.
Yeah.
And they're fucking epic.
You
They're
can hear
epic.
the
they're good,
difference
dude. They're
between
good.
old stuff and new stuff.
Yes, a huge
100%.
difference. So Billy's doing a lot of the composing for these big epic parts or whatever, and then Dave's always got the bass lines, and Jay's gonna do the drum parts, and then I'll come up with a little guitar hook, and then once that happens, we're like, all right, there it is. all right, now here, how do we detract from this crazy idea? Go back down to like a little energy. It's like energy levels, right?
Yeah.
So Billy comes up with this thing that like builds up into this crazy epic thing, and then Dave's like, all right, we're dropping it down to here. And then we go with Dave's thing, and then we go back up all the way up Dave's idea, and then we drop it into Billy's idea, and then it goes back and forth, and I just get to like fly to outer space. Like it's a crazy high. Greenhouse Lounge does some cool stuff.
Do you use the same pedal board for both for Calvert and for Greenhouse?
I do,
or do you have like specific boards?
Oh man,
so I have
you going down a rabbit hole here, buddy.
So lately I've been using the same board for both bands. I just try to make it efficient, right? Because I'm tired of like breaking down a pedal board and rebuilding a pedal board. Sometimes is a pain in the butt. Well, I don't have enough pedals to do both, right?
Okay.
Well, I have enough, but they won't sound the same. So I like the way it's sounding for this. I'll change some of the settings for the bands.
Oh, okay.
So I don't necessarily
you still use the same ones, but for each band you adjust.
I have some different settings, kind of, but not lately. I've been getting it pretty close to what I want for both. But there are some rooms that sound different with different pedals. So sometimes I'll have other pedals on standby that I don't usually use or whatever. And this room, the power or the temperature affects this germanium fuzz, which is going to make it sound thinner or warmer or whatever. It's like a whole pain in the ass.
Figure out that
I got to adapt, right? So
yeah.
So I like to be able to have enough pedals to adapt to whatever I'm trying to do. And so that's why my pedal board is the way it is. It's like a flex board. Like I need to be able to be flexible with it.
Yeah, because I mean, you use your board when you play with Spore as well. When you move it over to
I have
bass.
a bass board. I have a bass board. Now.
Yeah.
A little bass board. That I use all
so
my extra pedals that I'm not using.
So that's what I was wondering. I was like, man, does this guy got like 3 different pedal boards?
2. I have 2 right now.
So you have a guitar one and a bass one, but the guitar one you use for both bands.
Right. That's right. And I do sub out 1 or 2 pedals here and there. Like there's an octave pedal that I've been using with Calford lately that I can sub with like any other type of random effect. I have like one spot on my pedal board that I change.
It can kind of be ever changing.
Whatever.
The one spot.
Yeah, everything else stays. The delay is there. Both the overdrives are going to be there. The compressor and boost EQ is all going to be there. Wah is always going to be there. My tuner's always going to be there. The chorus is always going to be there. And then there's just one little spot that I can put whatever I want.
Yeah.
Sometimes I put a synth or a phaser.
Flanger.
Yeah, I don't actually have a freaking flanger.
You don't have a flanger,
I know.
bro?
Well, I have something that does flange, but it's a Keeley Electronics phase. It's called the Voltron.
Boss has a really good flanger pedal.
I know, it's classic. It's like
the purple one.
Yep, that's like just a flanger, and it'll do exactly what it needs to do.
That flanger pedal is sick.
Yeah, it works like you've heard it on records from forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that thing is.
I would have thought that would be something you would have had.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I don't know why I don't.
The thing is,
In fact,
though,
I'm gonna go get one right now.
I was gonna say, if I've ever met somebody though who's owned and gotten rid of more pedals than you, it's not possible.
That's
like,
I
mean,
I'm not so good at like keeping shit. So
yeah, you
seen
send
me
some
go through
down the
Spore
road.
rigs.
Yeah.
The amount of Spore bass rigs I've gone through. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
if you remember. I mean, you buy plenty of drums
Yeah.
things too.
Yeah,
Let's not
Yes.
joke around.
Yeah.
Chris is the cymbal rebate king.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, listen. He will
Got a
hold
lot
a
of
receipt for
cymbals.
2 years, and he's like, I got to come by the house tomorrow and grab my cymbals. I'm like, why?
It's
He's
the
like,
day.
He's like, today is the last day for me to be able to like
Get new ones.
break it and get a whole new pack.
So I'm gonna play the shit out of them.
So
real
he's
quick.
like, I'm just gonna come over and like smash this cymbal and get a crack in it, so I can get a whole new box of them because today's the last day for the warranty. I'm like, do you, bro?
And they would just send
They
them
were
both.
selling
They didn't
me
give a
up the
shit.
road.
Whole new
They
pack,
wouldn't give
bro.
a crap. They just send both.
Yeah, they
whatever.
did. They did.
So either way, so I remember all the different rigs. So when Spore first started, we all had way too big shit. Like it was way too big.
Yeah.
Alex had that full size
Rhodes piano
with the 415 speakers in it, like in the power unit. So 4 15-inch speakers is going to be heavy no matter what you're doing with them.
Yep.
And that was just part of his piano.
Yeah.
Then Joe had the JCM 800 with the 412 unit.
Yep.
And I had the SWR 8004T with 810s. And we were using this to play little shitty dive bars and just rip people's heads off. It was a joke. Yeah, and Joe's JCM 800 is big enough for Veterans Memorial Arena.
Yeah, it's a
and
big
we're
amp.
putting it in places like
Burrow Bar.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, we did put it in Burrow Bar, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I think we blew up Burrow Bar's
We exploded
sound
it.
system that night.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know that we did it. It blew up while we were playing. Whether we did that or not, or whether that was the sound guy's fault, I lean on the sound guy.
Could have been whatever. Could have been the construction. But
Yeah.
but we all downsized after
Yeah,
that.
oh yeah.
Remember,
oh,
we
yeah.
all downsized.
Bro,
Joe's
I
like, I'm getting a little-
downsized down to that little freaking Questlove drum set,
Dude,
You're
bro.
like, we're all
Well,
over
that's
this
the same
moving
thing.
everyone's shit.
Even
gig.
when we started Adversaries, it was like everybody had all these giant cabs and everything. It's like, why are we? Let's all just downsize. All
Yeah,
of us, everybody.
Does everyone
Yeah.
know how sound works? We can all have small
We
shit.
can
And it'll
all
be just fine.
downsize.
Yep.
Well, I initially started downsizing when we were in the Black Creek Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh,
I
that's right.
went from having 2 412 cabs, bro.
That's
I'm
amazing.
literally
but, like,
at
it's
a-
ridiculous.
I'm running a full stack,
I mean,
dude, and I'm
that's
like,
what
yeah,
guitar
this is
should
epic.
feel like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
And
But-
then it was like,
but
man,
what are you
this
doing?
is a pain in the ass when we go to play shows, dude. I'm
A huge pain
running
in the
this
ass.
giant stack. Like, no, and I just dropped down to a half cab, one single half cab.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, I got a 212.
does
work.
I sold
those are
my 412 a while back and dropped
Mhm.
down to a 212 cab, and I will never ever go back. I may buy another 212 cab soon,
So you can have, yeah.
but
All the
like
guys
I
in
have a Marshall
Adversaries
one,
have
and,
halves.
and I like it. I like the Marshall 212,
Yeah.
but I'd really love to have a Mesa cab probably for what I do with the head that I have. I think it would be cool.
They're
but
all different. Every cabin head.
I don't play
different.
guitar enough to even justify it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I
it's a whole
own
can of worms.
I own more guitars than I should,
Yeah.
according to my wife.
You have more guitars than I do.
I got a lot of guitars.
I got one.
You got a lot
I
of
got
drum
one
sets
guitar.
too.
I got a lot of
You got a
musical
bunch of
instruments
stuff.
laying
A
around.
bunch of magic cards.
Yeah.
A bunch of Pokemon
Oh,
cards.
let's not
Oh
get
yeah,
into it.
yeah, Pokemon
Anyway.
cards. But yeah, so like I said, man, I think it's awesome. It's really cool to see everything that's been happening for you, dude. And like I said, you've been absolutely smashing it.
Thanks.
I gotta say it, man. It's one of those things where when people talk to me about Spore and they're like, man, when y'all started that band 10 years ago, did you ever think it would be here now? Like you'd still be doing this? And I'm like, no, I didn't know if I could keep these dudes like in a vehicle for 10 years or like
10
focused on the
seconds.
same thing for, yeah. I didn't know if I could get these guys 3 hours down south when I first met them, but
We barely
at the same
did.
time, yeah. Yeah. I remember having a fight on the road on the way back from Miami with Alex on the side of an interstate.
Oh my god.
Oh,
We had all,
I
dude, there
remember
were
that.
so many crazy
I
moments.
do. I remember what that was about.
Yeah,
We
oh
can
yeah.
talk about that
Oh,
another
yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's another
You and
story for
Alex got
another
a
day.
fight?
It was a weird
it
one.
was, yeah. I mean,
Alex was off.
it was
his-
it was a bad night. It was a bad
Chris
night.
was being responsible. Alex was being
Yeah.
Alex.
We ended up getting a hotel room and deciding that it was best to just not drive back that night and just
Sleep it off.
sleep off
Which we
for a
all
little
needed.
bit, which we all definitely needed. And then they
Joe
took
and I
they
stayed
took
up anyway.
Joe. Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say
there's so
that was the
much
night
more
of
to
baby
this
bird
story.
shots.
Was that Baby Bird Shot night?
That was the night
They
of
all
baby
got
bird
sick.
shots.
They all got sick from that.
Yeah, Joe was giving Alex baby bird shots.
They were all giving each other. It was nasty.
What's a
So
what's
it
a
was
baby?
spitting-
You ever
it-
seen a baby bird get fed by its mother?
Yeah,
It was a wild night at Art Basel, bro, in Miami that
I
night. Let me
cannot
tell
wait
you
till
what.
this
And they were doing it
podcast is
just for
done
the-
so I can hear the rest of this story.
Yeah, but it's been crazy, man. And like I said, cool to see all the things that everybody's moved on to and everybody's moved forward with. And like I said, really awesome to see how you've made that switch from playing bass primarily to just being, in my opinion, one of the area's most phenomenal guitar players, bro.
shucks.
That's my opinion
Thanks,
all day
Chris.
long, bro. So
You look it
yeah,
up in the
you're welcome,
dictionary,
man. You're
Jacksonville
welcome.
Rockstar. Be a picture of Steve Honig.
Steven Honig.
Y'all
But
gonna
yeah,
make me
man.
blush.
Oh, good. You deserve it. But yeah, man, I'm really glad we were able to get you in here and talk about some stuff like that. And now we're gonna move on into some other fun stuff. So if you don't mind hanging out, we're gonna do some
You'll like this.
some music and food news. You down?
All right, yeah, I'm down for
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted to hear.
I got
All
some
right.
Time.
So that's gonna bring us on into everyone's.
Well, I
what-
feel like we're about it. It's
I
like
thought we
game
did.
now.
It's music first.
You want to do music first?
I thought ain't that what we normally do?
I
Or do
just
we
kind of
normally
switch it up whenever
do-
I
was
feel
gonna
like
say,
it.
sometimes it's like back and forth. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's food news. Sometimes it's music news.
I'm feeling good about food news today.
Oh,
You
you wanna
ready?
do
Yeah,
food news?
I like
Okay.
food.
You go first.
Yeah.
That
wait.
brings us right on into everyone's favorite section of the podcast.
A food news. A food news. A food news. A food news.
Food news. Live and improvised every single
Freestyle,
time.
baby.
Copyright me, YouTube. All right. So that's gonna bring us right on into food news, y'all, and we've got an exciting food news for everyone today. I am very
I hope
excited
so.
about it. All
Let's see
right.
what you got.
So this is get out of here, Dilish.com. This is right off the rip. All right, Alan.
Oh yeah.
Alan came
Oh
into the
my
shop
God.
about a week and a half. Oh. Sorry, y'all. Over here. 1 minute. Transition.
What are you messing up?
I didn't go to monitor 2 capture, so for a
nobody
minute
has no idea
it went
what
black
you're
screen.
talking about.
Yeah. All right. So food news. Alan came into the shop just a few weeks ago.
No,
and
just a few days ago.
Yeah, whatever it was, but since the last podcast, and
Yeah.
was like, listen, man, I got something for the next food news that we got to talk about, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, what do you got? And I know Alan, all right? So I know the foods he likes, the level of food he eats at times, and that he calls gourmet. You know what I'm saying? So all right. So this is the only
low.
fucker I've ever met in a $500 dinner steakhouse telling me that TGI Fridays was better.
Oh
all
my
right?
God.
But I know for a fact.
Bro, facts.
No,
Oh my God.
facts. The cheese and garlic on it was better, I'm sure.
my
So,
God.
like I said, it's one of those things where I expect a certain caliber of exciting food news from Alan, right? But this one was a home run, I gotta say it. Little Debbie has turned its iconic zebra cakes into mini donuts.
I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm about that.
Right?
Come on.
All right. So we were
I lived
talking
at gas
about it.
stations for like 6 years.
Sweet 16 donuts, man, like the Hostess bag with the chocolate donuts, the powdered sugar. One of my favorite things still to this day. My daughter, dude, if I pick up a bag of Hostess Sweet 16, she is wrecking them before we can even get out of the grocery store, if I'll let her. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that now you've taken Little Debbie, all right, and I like zebra cakes, but you want to know what my biggest qualm with zebra cakes is? You want to know the thing I don't like about zebra cakes the
how
most?
easy the hard outside icing falls off.
No.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, as soon as you bite it, it's like a whole wall flake off. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
No, what?
It is the filling, bro.
Oh, you don't. Oh, because these don't have filling. You don't like the filling in zebra
So
cakes?
I like the filling, but what I'm gonna say is that by the time I get to the last bite of a zebra cake, between all the sweet ass icing on the outside and then this pillowy like confection sugar icing in the middle, dude, I get to a point where like my teeth hurt, my whole mouth feels crazy,
Weird out.
and I'm just like, like
Not me. I
zebra
crushed the whole
cakes are
box,
good.
bro.
Zebra cakes are good. But the fact that they're turning into a donut and I can jump right past the extra cream in the middle is game changer for me, bro. Okay, so mini zebra donuts, Little Debbie, the mastermind brand behind many of your favorite snacks, including Swiss rolls, cosmic brownies, honey buns,
love
bro.
them all.
Oh my God,
Love them
honey
all.
buns, dude. Have turned the zebra cakes into
love
mini
honey buns.
donuts. All right, so these guys are going to be available beginning mid-March 2022, so get out to your local grocery store. You might be able to pick them up right now and have a suggested retail price of just $2.19. But
They're not at the gas stations yet. I'll tell you that
No, not
because
yet.
I
okay,
have.
you ain't found them in a Circle
No,
K yet.
you know me. I go every fucking
No,
day.
I was gonna say, yeah,
And,
yeah.
Nope.
All right.
My strawberry cheesecake things are gone now too.
Y'all
Oh,
make
no.
sure you keep up with Alan on Instagram. He'll be updating you in the Little Debbie.
Gas station
Little Debbie
confectionaries.
cakes.
You know what, bro? You need to come on stage wearing your zebra outfit, eating a bag of these,
Oh, that could be a gimmick. And
or
a
just
half.
have it sitting on top of your amp,
zebra
bro.
cake, just zebra everything.
Oh, bro.
I got so much zebra shit now. That's crazy.
It's solid.
So
No, I gotta
and
go.
and,
So
and I
funny.
think
that would be hilarious.
I think one of the biggest things that this brings to mind for me, all right, is like, so Little Debbie should do this more, right? So like
Well,
with
hybrid-
zebra cake
hybridized.
donuts,
Hybrids, yeah.
zebra cake donuts, but what about a honey bun donut, bro? A mini honey bun donut. Why is that not a thing already? Why do we not
There's
have?
many honey
Why
buns.
do we not have?
They
I know.
sell
I'm talking
A
about
donut.
the donuts, bro. With like just make it out of the
Oh,
honey bun cake and put the honey icing on it.
What it. I mean, it kind of is already. That,
that's
though.
what
But
they're all
is this
kinda
not?
similar.
Yeah, they're all kind of the same thing.
But put it in the donut machine.
Yeah, throw it in the donut machine, bro.
Just donify it.
Donify it.
So yeah,
Oh,
y'all
my God.
y'all have that to be looking forward to. Definitely some killer donuts on the way from Little Debbie.
we got next?
All right, we're getting right on into this because everybody knows that we talk about Taco Bell a whole lot here.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
buddy,
Right?
here we go, dude.
So
I eat Taco Bell all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Taco Bell, if y'all have not heard, has a hotel.
I've
Okay.
not heard.
What?
Okay,
The Taco Bell Hotel.
the Taco Bell
Do they
Hotel.
have alcohol Taco Bell?
Where
Here's-
is that? I wanna
Here's
go.
everything you could possibly want to know and what's inside. Now, I will tell you that when I was in Vegas this
Oh my
last
God.
time,
Hot
the
sauce pack
Taco
and key
Bell.
cards.
The Taco
That ain't
Bell.
going back.
Baja
That would
Blast.
be coming home with me.
Baja Blast.
the
Watermelon
taco-
sangria popsicle.
The Taco Bell on the Strip in Vegas sells alcohol. Okay.
Right.
But
I've heard of this.
it's one of those things where it's nothing like this, right?
You
So
see that hot sauce packet pillow?
I did. I saw it all. Look, Taco Bell
We're gonna have
robes.
such a high bill for all the
Okay.
shit we steal from that.
So,
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, for sure.
we're missing 4 paintings and 4 pillows. God.
So
damn
it looks like it's one of those things where the chain has decided, that they're going to start this thing, and they've kind of paired up with the V Palm Springs, who
What is
decked
Is this
out.
in Florida?
I believe it might be in
We're
Florida.
going. We're throwing a show there.
Okay.
Oh, bro, I wonder if they'll rent out the corporate room for
The
a little
only-
gig there.
The only unfortunate
Taco
thing is
Bell.
this occasion, of course, was a 5-day pop-up called the Bell.
Bah.
So, announced in May
over.
and booked up in 5 minutes. I mean,
What?
Yeah, booked up in 5 minutes.
That's not even enough time to even get the word out.
This is the
Who even
person's kind of story
Employees.
on what's going on.
Maybe,
So, there was Mountain Dew Baja Blast. His 24 hours began with a Baja Blast drink topped with the watermelon sangria popsicle. Handed to me seconds after I received my hot sauce packet room key.
God.
You can see, you also saw pictures of the room itself, but there's a salon where guests can book hair and nail appointments to Taco Bellify their body.
Oh my God. Get out of town.
This person went with Cinnabon Delight hairstyle sans glitter. Okay.
Without glitter.
So
Look at that, dude.
the Freeze Lounge. Yeah, here's some food, some breakfast. Palm Springs, the Bell.
Interesting.
So this was a short thing that was going on, but I felt like it had to be mentioned because
well, this is bullshit.
this
I want to
should
go.
this should happen again, right? This is obviously if
I mean,
this
if it
was
was
successful.
successful, they'll do it
how
again.
They'll do it
how
again.
you
Look,
get
it's
to
just like a
find
little
out?
motel thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's like a
themed out.
motel. They just
that looks
turned
like
into the-
California, Bob. There's mountains.
Oh yeah, it's definitely California. That's not here.
Nope.
Yep.
Could
That
be.
sucks.
Could be New Mexico.
Is there a way to find out? Like, how do you
Look,
how do you
frozen
get?
Baja Blast.
That looks good.
You don't even fuck with Baja.
I don't.
What? Oh, he's a classic. Mountain Dew
I'm a classic.
Baja
I'm a
Blast is the
classic.
one.
Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
I don't
Oh,
mess with Baja Blast.
one.
I don't mess with Baja Blast. But
So,
like I
mean,
said, either
yeah,
way,
teach their own.
this seems like something that maybe more of our favorite, maybe more restaurants should
Look at that,
kind
just
of
rocking out
jump
with
to.
burrito.
Yeah, just walking out, handing them cinnamon twists out by the pool, bro. Chalupa.
Oh my
Alright.
god.
So you're saying restaurants should just have themed out hotel weeks?
Why not?
Bro, that
I
would
mean,
be
bro,
amazing.
If
You could do that
Taco
with like
Bell,
any restaurant.
I've already been talking about this, but there's people who have talked about one of the big things a lot of restaurants are moving towards now is like these subscription
Taco
services.
Bell does not have these.
Like Taco Bell is working on a subscription service I'm pretty sure, to be able to roll out basically like food for a nominal fee every single year. You get a certain meal every single day. So the fact that they're branching out into
I
things
would-
like
What?
this, yeah, the
Some
fact
of you
that
would
they're
not be a
branching
part
out.
of a Taco Bell subscription.
I mean, bro, if
What,
you
like
paid
every day,
no,
or every other-
let's say
You
you
have a
paid,
monthly
let's
fee.
say you paid or you paid, yeah, it was maybe $80 for the year, and basically you could go through Taco Bell at any point, any day of the year, and pick up 2 tacos and a drink for free. All right.
Interesting.
Eventually,
Bro, that would get paid off in the first 2 months.
Yeah.
those people the
Yeah.
people who go to
If you
Taco
go-
Bell
yeah.
every day. But then you obviously, just like any other membership subscription you have, they're obviously selling it on the hopes that you have the people who don't ever go to Taco Bell but continue to pay $80 a year for
Yeah,
a
like a gym
subscription.
membership.
A gym membership, guys. Perfect example. Perfect example.
They should
But,
have Taco Bell memberships at the gym.
But yeah.
They should have a Taco Bell in the gym.
Are
So
you tired of going to the gym? Come to Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. So this next article I was pretty excited about. All right, 30 best Oreo flavors ranked and
Ooh,
tested. All
Fucking
right,
love
so
special Oreos.
I don't.
at this,
It
I do
depends.
too.
It depends.
I
They're
do
not all
too.
good. I love just the different ones. I'm like, ooh,
I
what's
do
this
too.
one?
The red velvet cake is probably
Yeah,
to
that
this
one's
day
fire.
one of my favorites.
The
The
peanut butter
cinnamon
ones are
bun
good.
ones, the peanut butter ones are really good.
Yep.
I think that Oreos obviously went to a whole different place now, right? I mean, I remember when it was
The cinnamon
just
sugar.
the regular Oreos. Then it was like double stuff,
Yeah, double
right?
stuff
that
was
was the big
revolutionary.
thing.
That's all I get, bro. I
And
just
then-
bought a whole thing of double
And
stuff
then I
yesterday.
remember I
Double
still buy them
stuff.
every single year in the fall around Christmas, but every year around Christmas they drop the fudge covered Oreos, and you can get the white or the milk chocolate fudge covered Oreos.
Wait, can I
And
just
that
say
was
one
kind
thing
of a
real
thing.
quick?
Yeah.
Double stuffed. Is it double stuffed or double stuff?
Yeah, I'm not really
for
sure.
about 30 years, I thought it was double stuffed.
That
and
might
I'm
be
reading it there. It says double
That's
stuffed.
wrong, bro. It's stuffed.
Right. All right.
It
So
has,
is
it has
this
two
a
F's and an ED on
is
it.
this one of those things where the internet makes us?
What do you
Yep,
call
the
it?
effect.
Mandala effect.
That's
effect.
it. Is that happening right now?
That,
with
yeah, it's
stuff
definitely
Maybe.
stuffed.
Maybe.
Is double stuffed or double stuffed?
Pretty sure
I'm
it's
not
two
really
F's
sure.
and an
I'm
ED.
not really sure. But yeah, at
Okay.
this point, this includes all of the 85 plus
Oh,
flavors
get
in the
outta
here.
brand's history. Okay. And-
Popcorn.
yeah, it's one of those things where I think they've come out with just about everything you could imagine at this point. But this right here,
Number one.
Birthday
number
cake.
one,
Wow, they started with
birthday
number one.
cake
Now we're just gonna go
Oreo.
down the list.
Yeah,
No,
well,
just
I
with
just wanted to look at the
Nice.
top 10
Ooh,
here
number
because
two's fudge dip.
yeah, Oreo thins. Now that sounds fire to me.
Those
I haven't
sound
had
good.
those. Oreo mint thins. That
Not a
sounds
huge
like
fan.
you know what? It just sounds like they're trying to get on the Girl Scout cookie
Yeah,
That's
thing.
exactly
but people
and
love those.
I
things.
love those.
Yeah.
Oreo thin bites. Okay, cool. Chocolate
That has
Oreo
no
thins.
icing. That's like the opposite of double stuff.
Yeah. Churro Oreos. These were
Where are those?
Never
apparently
had
pretty
those.
good.
Where
These
are
were
those?
apparently pretty good. There were a lot of people raving online.
Chocolate.
Chocolate Oreo and number
There's
7.
there's my favorite
Ooh,
right
the
there.
peanut
right
butter,
there.
bringing it up in the
I
top
love peanut
10.
butter.
Shit. Oh really?
Fudge
Oh,
dip,
God.
mint Oreo
Love it.
thins bites. Okay, all right. And bringing up number 10, white fudge dip
fudge.
Oreo.
Oh, go to the next one.
And there we go.
There's
There's my
yours.
red velvets,
Red
bro.
velvet, the class, the red.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to be a person in existence and not like Oreos to some extent, man. I
Like,
mean,
if
come
you
on.
were like,
dude.
you know
like
what?
even
I don't like Oreos. And you're like, are you even human? Like,
yeah,
how's that
I
a
would
thing?
I would
outta
tend
here.
to agree. I would tend to agree.
Who doesn't like Oreos?
I
No
I
one.
don't know
can't-
if
I've
I've
never
ever
met a person.
anybody who
I don't
Never
know if I
met a
want to
person.
be. I don't know if I want to meet a person. who doesn't
Yeah,
like
right. Yeah, I don't really want to. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not too keen on that.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, that's gonna go ahead and wrap up food news, and it's gonna bring us right on into music news, which that's our artist spotlight. And here's music news, and I'm gonna talk about this right quick. All right, I don't know if either one of y'all. I'm sure
What?
y'all have heard this song. Okay,
What-
so the Kid Leroy.
Kid Leroy.
Okay, this dude's been blowing up, right? So he has this song with Bieber, "Stay." All right, that just made history on the Billboard Hot 100. All right.
Okay.
This song right here, okay, has charted on the Billboard charts for 13 weeks non-consecutively, more than any other in the charts history. It's passed both Olivia Rodrigo's "Good For You" and Whitney Houston's "Exhale," each of which spent 11 weeks at number 2 in 2021 and 1995-96 respectively. So this Kid Laroi kid, man, this dude like popped up from like TikTok and social media
Yeah.
and shit. Okay, and next thing you know, he's got a song with Bieber that's now breaking the Billboard Hot 100 records. All right, and I just have to recognize it and give a nod to it. The song's actually pretty
I don't even
good.
know what song.
I haven't
The
heard it
song's
yet.
pretty good. I can't play it right here because obviously YouTube will copyright us. But at the same time, it's a good song. I highly suggest going and checking it out because obviously it's smashing. And I felt like it was something when I went to go look up the Billboard Hot 100 for this week. It was at number 2, and it's been at like number 1 or 2 every week for every podcast for the last like 3 months. And I'm like, okay, at some point in time, I got to be like, what the hell's going on with this song? It's absolutely exploding, and cool to see somebody in the musical space coming and blowing up out of the social media realm, you know, TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. Cool to see these artists actually doing it. And,
God.
music news, listen, man, I got to talk about it for a minute, dude, because
Sucks, dude.
listen,
This
when
song
I
sucks.
when I went to go
Yeah, it
do
does
music news for this episode, it was kind of all shadowed by the fact that this had happened. You know what I'm saying? Because this was nothing. I knew this had happened. I didn't need to look up an article to find
Right.
out that this shitty
Right.
thing had happened. And it was one of those things where I was like,
I
man,
think this affects all three of us in this
Yeah.
room. Like,
yeah,
Yep.
man.
we all
Yeah.
have had inspiration from Foo Fighters,
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
100%, dude.
At some point.
And for Hawkins to pass away, like even at the young age that he was an amazing person, amazing drummer. You know what I mean? And as all of us as being musicians have looked up to this band in some form of way in our life.
Yeah.
Just
You know?
released that movie too.
Yeah, man. No, it's an incredibly horrible situation. I made a post when I found out. In high school, I can remember going to get my first job, or not, my second job in the mall at American Eagle, and I would take my lunches and go to the Books A Million and just like comb for the Modern Drummer magazines. and then literally open them up and read articles from Taylor Hawkins and the drummer from Thrice, like, religiously, man. Like, I mean, they had some of my favorite articles in those magazines were written or kind of experiences from Taylor Hawkins, and it's a major hit, man. When you think of, like, rock and roll bands, I think everybody can agree that the Foo Fighters are just one of those bands that kind of sticks out. I mean, they've been around for, Dave Grohl, obviously, Nirvana, and the crazy lineage he comes from. And, yeah, man, I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't know Dave Grohl as a person, but I can't imagine losing one of the guys you played in a band with, Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, and then, years down the road to lose another one. Way too early. Both of them way too early.
They've been doing Foo Fighters for what, 25?
Listen,
the video for Born to Fly is still probably one of my favorite videos to ever exist, bro. Still, that defines pretty much, like, rock and roll for me in the 90s as, like, a kid. Early 2000s. Foo Fighters are just one of those iconic bands, and
that whole first album to me was with Born to Fly. Is it Born to Fly?
Yeah, Born to Fly was the song.
Born to Fly.
One of the big singles.
And then, what was the other one? Hero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All those songs were, like, on that one record. It was like a blue record.
Yeah.
And it had, like, DNA on it or whatever it was that was on it. Like, that whole album was so significant in music itself,
Yeah. No, and I mean, even just they played Rockville in recent years, and I mean, everybody from Jax was able to go out and see him and just raved, and I've got to be honest with you, it's one of my biggest regrets is not actually making it to see the Foo Fighters that weekend at that Rockville. And it sucks, man, and big love to everybody in the Foo Fighters camp and everybody, all of Taylor Hawkins' family. The Grammy Awards are going to be doing a big tribute, but the Foo Fighters will no longer be performing at the Sunday Grammy Awards, and the Grammys are doing a tribute to Taylor Hawkins. But the Foo Fighters have canceled all upcoming tour dates, it's just an incredibly heavy situation for us being in bands. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been in bands, and I can't imagine what I would go through if one of my homies was just gone one day. I mean, it's a unreal situation that no one should have to deal with. But much love and rest in peace to the homie Taylor Hawkins, and much love to everybody in the Foo Fighters. On a lighter note, I'm going to bring us right on into one of my favorite things. Silk Sonic just getting on everything.
They're so good, bro.
Right?
They're so good.
They're next level, dude, okay? Listen, my last trip home from Vegas, the one thing I was mad about, week after I left, guess who started a residency at Caesars?
The week after?
Yeah, dude, the week after I left Vegas.
You would have been all over that shit.
Bro, I'd have been.
He'd have been there every night.
Every night I could have been there, dude. And it was just one of those things where Silk Sonic tapped to open the 2022 Grammy Awards. Lady Gaga added, John Legend, J Balvin, Carrie Underwood will also perform with the tribute to the late Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins in the works. So I think it's going to be at least a lot of good performances at the Grammys this year. The Grammy Awards as itself is always an interesting night of television.
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't necessarily tune into it all the time, but always cool to see some of the artists that I care about or some of the new and upcoming artists get, recognized for some crazy stuff that they've accomplished.
Definitely watch the Grammys before I watch the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get
somebody's
that.
getting slapped.
Yeah, that was a no slap policy. newly enforced.
Yeah, so like I said, Billie Eilish, BTS, Olivia Rodrigo also performing. So, I mean, it's going to be a crazy night. It's at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. Where else would it be?
Of course.
Airing on CBS at 8 p.m. Eastern, April 3rd. So that's going to be after this. So we'll be talking on the next podcast about who won the Grammy, some of these Grammy Awards, I'm sure.
Nice.
But, yeah, man, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up music news, which is pretty much going to wrap up the podcast for the day. Steven, man, we appreciate you being here and hanging out, dude. Talking to us for a little while.
Yeah, I like hanging out with y'all. It's
fun.
fun.
Man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. Y'all make sure you go check out Calford. Greenhouse Lounge, Spore, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you can find all the stuff. Go check it
it's
out.
on all that.
Go show it some love. Make sure you go check out Calford tonight, the night that this podcast airs on YouTube. Friday,
15th.
April 15th at 1904 Music Hall with Dean Winter in the Heat and Jordan Foley in the wheelhouse. Right. And then join us back here in the studio in 2 weeks where we will have Mr. Cody Pulliam on the podcast as a special guest. For those of y'all who have been around since the beginning, you'll remember Cody as the in-house resident art guy. He's the guy who helped us start the podcast in season 1 and kind of get it off the ground, as well as helped us start the YouTube channel that is now close to 2,000 subscribers. So thank y'all very much.
Very nice.
It's been huge. We really appreciate it. And but for now, from the Grind Time Shop to wherever you are, we hope y'all have an incredible day, and we'll see y'all soon. Peace. We out.